And what we saw earlier this morning, we did have a decent amount of tornado warnings across portions of the area. We are not seeing that anywhere close to the area at this time. Skies are clearing out. If you're watching this pre 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, in just less than an hour from when we're recording this, the International Space Station will be rising in the northwest, and we'll hopefully be able to see it with some of our cameras here. So that, again, should be a good visibility for that. This should be a super bright pass, rising in the northwest, again, about 10:40, and then as it approaches the zenith of the sky, we're almost directly right overhead. That's where it'll start fading into Earth's shadow. It'll look just like a star, a very bright star, no flashing lights. That's an airplane. Nothing in the way of this thing shooting across the sky like a meteor. This just goes very, very steadily like a point of light. You can see it very well against the other background lights. Back across the area, well away from any city lights, would be your best bet to be able to see this. So if you have the opportunity, please hop out and see if you can see this, and we'll bring you more information about what we may be looking at here in the semi-near future. When the skies are clear enough and we can see properly, we should be able to, again, see a decent amount of satellites out there, but again, away from city lights is going to be your best bet. So hopefully skies will be clear enough. We did have some clouds out there, and that was a bit of a problem from earlier on, with clouds and showers and thunderstorms and all sorts of things happening from earlier on. So we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. So stay tuned for more on that. If you have questions, again, drop them into the comments section. We'd love to see what it is you're talking about out there. And if you have any questions about what's happening with weather in and around our area, again, just drop them into the comment section on Twitch or YouTube. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This is Weather Overtime. This is our weeknightly video weather blog where we get a lot more weather information out to you, so that if you want to ask questions or know more about what's going on, we'll do our best to let you know more about what's happening. So stay tuned for more on here, and we'll try to be on every single night. We weren't able to get things done last night before the storms kind of rolled in, so we're back on the air with this information to give you an idea as to what may be happening. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. We'll also take a look at the tropics coming up here in just a little while. Things are very nice and quiet, much clearer than what we saw last night, with thunderstorms around the area closing in. Lookout Mountain back over toward the area south and west of Chattanooga proper. We're coming to you, by the way, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeastern United States, North America, if you're keeping track of that. We did have some scattered showers left over. Now not seeing all that much. We did have some scattered light activity. We just had a front roll through, and that did a good job of stirring up some areas of activity with showers and thunderstorms through this morning and into about, say, sunrise area. We do have one scattered shower. It looks like way back up toward about I-40. That, again, making its way down to the south and east. So northern Ray, northern Meigs County, looks like you may pick up a raindrop or two from this, but there's really just not that much going on when it comes to a huge amount of anything happening. That front is bringing in a decent amount of some drier air coming on through, and that is going to give us some much nicer conditions out across much of the area. So if we have anything coming up in the near future when it comes to rainfall, that is going to be happening as we go into and around the end of this next week. In between here and there, there's just really not that much happening. We've got to take a second here for this to move properly. There's that one shower that we're looking at again, right back up around Ray and Meigs County. The front itself attached this fairly intense storm system up around southeastern Canada. This is trailing that front all the way down basically to the Gulf of Mexico, and there was some possibilities of severe weather in front of that front back to the south and off to the east, but this is not showing anything in the way of problems for us, as our air supply is coming in from the northwest, and that is going to be giving us some nice, dry, and stable air. And for that matter, looking all the way back out to the west of us, we really do not have anything in the way of any storm systems coming on through. Minor system up over the Gulf of Alaska, the northeastern portion of the area up around western Canada. Really not much more than that. So the next storm system will be taking a while to get organized and get a little closer to us. When that happens, we will see the potential of more activity in the way of showers or thunderstorms out there, and that'll be coming up into, again, the end of the weekend. So we're just not seeing a lot for now, but after this morning and all that activity we went through, it's kind of nice to have a little bit less in the way of problems heading on through so the next couple of days. So that is looking absolutely excellent for right now. So again, good news on that, and again, hopefully it'll be staying that way. Let's take a look at the maps and show you again into tomorrow morning. I think we could have some 50s in and around the area. Could even be the potential of some fog here and there with enough moisture in the ground and cool air up above. Good possibility of maybe some steam fog coming in some areas. Temperatures tomorrow, beautiful, just below normal, high 70s to about the lower 80s. Through Wednesday, again, 50s for lows, beautiful conditions out there for the morning hours, maybe some fog once again. Wednesday, temperatures back around 80 degrees. We're going to be just a little lower than normal thanks to that front keeping the temperatures down a bit. And then Thursday morning, we start to see maybe some showers well back down. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Allergies again. This again is where we see the potential of more rainfall coming through toward about Thursday morning, and then increasing chances as we get into Friday afternoon, but limited chances at best at this point anytime soon. So we don't really see much of any major concern. No severe weather, nothing like that anytime soon over the next several days. So things are again going to be, very much on the quiet side. And very nice to report that we have nothing showing up in the way of severe weather. So for now and for the next few days, I think we've had more than enough severe weather to deal with. So again, for now, we're doing pretty good on that for the time being. Looking into the future, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. The view from Island Cove Marina and Resort in the background, fading sunlight out there, beautiful sunsets for this evening. For the rest of the week, including World Otter Day, the last Wednesday in May, that looks pretty good. Rest of the week stays dry. Chances of rain start approaching us into the weekend, and again, I don't think we're looking at anything in the way of anything severe or widespread for that matter, so very much on the quiet side there. The one thing on here to note, and again, this is going to be affecting us into the temperatures also very much on the mild side, so I don't see much of anything heat wave related. Yesterday was our hottest temperature of the year. We made it to 90 degrees on Sunday briefly, but we also again see that potential for hotter conditions later on. Atlantic hurricane season is going to begin as we get into around Saturday. Again, that's the time frame where hurricanes are going to be much more possible into some sections of the Atlantic, and that's not entirely good news at this point in time, as we are seeing some troubling conditions out across portions of the Atlantic. Let's go ahead and take a look at that for right now before we get too far ahead into the next couple of days. The Eastern Pacific has already started its hurricane season. That begins May the 15th. This area, Atlantic, Caribbean, Gulf, down toward the equator and what's called the Intertropical Convergence Zone, down around portions where the storms actually form and move back toward the west-northwest. This area is very much on the warm side. As of right now, we're not seeing anything in the way of any developing storm systems, and that again, in and of itself is very good news because we could use some quiet conditions. But the problem we've got, and I've showed you this before, SSTs, the sea surface temperature map, is showing temperatures in some parts of the Gulf, the Caribbean, and back out into the Atlantic. This is bathtub warm water. And this is where we pick up the problems, because with this warm water, this is rocket fuel for any of these storms to get going. And right now, the temperatures in this area are, excuse me, pardon me. I'm going to have to start singing lessons or something here. Pardon me for doing that. We're looking at this area being exceptionally conducive to development. So all we need is a good system with minimal shear and this warm water sitting here. We've got temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. That, again, is not good news. The oceans have not had a chance to really cool off after last year. They only dropped a certain amount, and this is what the temperatures should be in mid-August. So we're already way ahead of schedule on the temperatures, and this is where we start seeing again the potential problems from anything developing. It could go very quickly from a tropical storm to a hurricane, which is why you really need to pay attention to what is going on with the weather if you're traveling anywhere to any ocean connected areas. If you're going to the Bahamas, Florida, East Coast, Gulf Coast, way out into around the Caribbean, you really need to pay attention to what's going on with the forecast, because this hurricane season is expected to be the worst we may have ever seen. Not joking around about that. That is what we have seen from a lot of the hurricane experts out there. So there is a very good possibility we could be looking at a lot of problems heading our direction. Nothing developing at this point, as we just showed you. But again, we could be seeing some fairly major problems starting up pretty soon. Now, I mentioned the 90-degree temperature that we had this weekend in Chattanooga. That doesn't sound too terrible. We are heading into summertime, so we will see more hotter temperatures on the way. Big heat dome over Central America and southern Mexico. And this from meteorologist Scott Duncan, WX, who works in London and had a part-time ownership in the website WX Charts, a very neat place to go to for weather details on there. We see again this heat dome parked across portions of Central America, where the temperature is breaking the heat record earlier this weekend on the 26th of almost 95 degrees. Now, that doesn't sound too terrible, except for this heat dome has been here for a very, very long period of time, almost 2 weeks pretty much, raising the temperatures here, and that's not good news. In India, it's even worse. We've got temperatures of 122 degrees during the daytime, and at nighttime, temperatures are not even cooling off. They're dropping into the 90s for low temperatures. This is really not good news, because the ocean is trying to balance out the temperatures thanks to the fact that we're using all this fossil fuel to heat our atmosphere. Climate change caused by humans is causing a lot of this to actually happen. This is what we are seeing, pardon me again, for the next several days and weeks as we go into summertime. It's going to get, in some cases, progressively worse, and that is not going to be helping us out. When it comes to summertime temperatures, we could see a lot worse temperatures out there. It's a possibility, again, that we could see even worse hurricane seasons coming up. The last forecast brought to you by Michael Mann and University of Pennsylvania shows, again, a medium amount of storms out there, named tropical cyclones going through, of 33, a low of 27, a high of 39. This is going to be incredibly bad news. And again, this could be a disastrous season depending on what's going on. And that's not hyping anything. That is not hype. That's just looking at the science and showing this is something that could happen that way. Now, maybe to help you out just a little bit, again, to talk about what's going on where we have some cooler conditions, looking around the area of a Munson Scott South Pole Station at the bottom of the world. Guiding laser for, I believe, astronomical observations shooting out there. This was from earlier today. The temperature was 85. Remember, they're heading into winter time down there. They're almost at winter, a little bit less than a month ago until we hit the winter season at the bottom of the planet. 85, the temperature, the air temperature below zero. Combine that with a very stiff wind. We've got 126 below zero wind chill with blowing ice crystals and snow out there. Hopefully that'll cool you off a little bit, because temperatures are just going to get warmer from this point onwards for us heading into summertime. Now, I want to bring this up This is something that we talked about earlier today regarding what's going on with severe weather. If you had damage, and I hope you didn't, for those of you who did have damage, please go to your National Weather Service website. Again, go to weather.gov and look at which county you live in. We're borrowing Huntsville's website here for this for DeKalb and Jackson counties in our viewing area in the far northeastern corner of Alabama. If you got damage, go to their website. If you live in DeKalb and Jackson counties, numerous tornado warnings this morning. If you have damage, and this goes for anybody anywhere in the United States, if you live in the United States, your county is covered by a National Weather Service forecast office. So go to weather.gov, see the entire United States, click on your area, find your county, which forecast office covers you. We have 4 National Weather Service offices covering the News 12 viewing area. So find out your county, click on Submit a Storm Report, and that way you can submit your information. That data will help other meteorologists, other personnel who study severe weather and watch what goes on when a forecast is made. So the forecast is going to go from one county to the other, but then it veers off course, or it wasn't quite as strong as expected, or maybe nothing happens whatsoever, or worst case scenario, something absolutely cataclysmic happens and you have major amounts of damage, casualties, and injuries from a storm. Your data could help the National Weather Service plot out what this forecast called for, and then with your information could see what happened at some point in time along the line. So that is something that you can help out with. It's called citizen science. You don't need a PhD to participate in science. Sometimes all you need is just your eyes and ears. Sometimes a pad and a pencil or a pen could help out, or a tablet or a computer to keep track of data. And there's tons of citizen science projects out there that you can do. Some fun for the kids as we go throughout the rest of the summer. So something to think about. But if you got damage, and again, I really hope you didn't, but if you did, again, once you get the cleanup taken care of, if you have pictures available, if you documented what happened and when, which direction the winds were going, what type of damage, go to the National Weather Service website and click on the Submit a Storm Report for more information and to send your information along to the National Weather Service. That would really, really help researchers, and might even contribute to making forecast information a lot more helpful in the future. So good opportunity to learn a little bit more about that. All right, for today, for Memorial Day, the question of the day from wdef.com/vote now. If you'd like to vote in our polls, this one is closed down for the day, but you might be able to go and check out another one, again, coming up around midnight. So if you have the opportunity to check these out, we're trying to make them as interesting and fun as possible. Today's question is, again, an increase of 1 degree Fahrenheit of ocean waters results in a 15 mile per hour stronger winds in hurricanes. So true or false on that one? 3/4 of you said that that was true. That's where Kay Blevins voted. Andrew Harrison voted false, I think just to be contrarian, but he voted for false. The answer is actually true. So if you'd like to, again, vote in one of our polls, the next one upcoming at midnight, you'll be able to find out more again at wdef.com/vote now. And again, you can use the handy dandy QR code on your screen to find out more through, if you want to take a picture of that and go from there. So thanks to everybody who voted in our poll. Really do appreciate that. Let me see. One more thing I think I'm forgetting here before we close things out, before we go too far. Let's take a look and see at the almanac page real quick and see if we managed to make, nope, 86 the high, 84 the normal, 62 the low, very close to that, and 1 1/3 inches for today. So we did manage to pick up a decent amount of rainfall. That helped us bring us back to within 1/10 of an inch of normal for the year. But for the month, we're now about 2 1/3 inches above where we should be. So doing okay for May, not quite so great, right about normal again for the entire year on this. I like to pride myself in making certain that I pronounce everybody's name correctly, because with a name like Onek, you want to make certain you're pronouncing everybody's name. This looks to me to be somewhat Polish, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, John Seswid, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Again, I apologize for that. From Murphy, North Carolina. One of the best damn pictures you've seen out there. Play on words there. Don't email me and talk to me about cursing or anything, because that's just a play on words. Nice sunset with some crepuscular rays, shadows cast by the clouds on the horizon at sunset over the Appalachia Dam. Very colorful view. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Again, I hope I haven't mispronounced that name, but thank you very much for a view from Murphy, North Carolina. If you've got pictures, again, please send them in to us. Drop them to our social media pages. Email them to us, or go to wdef.com/photos to submit your pictures, and we would love to see more about what you're seeing out there. So thank you very much for keeping an eye on that and for sending those wonderful pictures in. Everybody's been sending in some very, very great information for the last several months around here. Really impressive to see more about what people are looking at out there and sharing them with us. That's a very nice thing for you to do. I think that's going to do it for tonight. Not that much going on, at least not as much as what we saw last night approaching the area. Now we're getting back into some quiet conditions, thankfully. But for right now, again, we're seeing quiet numbers out there for the time being. Again, if you're wanting to get in contact with us, go to our website, bottom of the page here. That is also where we see, again, the potential for getting in contact with anybody else here at News 12. If you have an idea for a story, please let us know. We'd love to be able to see what's out there and to cover your event, but you need to give us a lot of time to get it on our calendar. So please write it down, email it to us, call us, let us know. You can get it to us again through our website, wdef.com/weather. I can be reached on all these social media networks, again, minus Facebook. They threw me off because somebody tried to hack my account. Unfortunately, they won't let me back in. So more information available, wdef.com/weather. And if you have questions, again, my email address, bottom of the screen, aonek@wdef.com, and would love to hear from you. If you want to see more or less of something, if you have a suggestion of what we can cover here, let us know. We'd love to be able to see more about what you would like in making this your favorite video weather blog stop for the Tennessee River Valley area. Think that'll do it. Andrew Harrison and I will have more on News 12 at 11 tonight. Chip Chapman is back tomorrow morning with an update on the forecast on News 12 this morning, so stay tuned for more there. And again, please drop by wdef.com/weather for more information. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This has been Weather Overtime for the last Monday of May, the 27th. Last week of May coming up ahead of us. Hurricane season starts this Saturday, so time to be weather aware out there. We'll have more tonight and more tomorrow and all the way through the week, so keep it tuned to News 12. Have a great what's left of your Memorial Day Monday, and stay tuned for more with News 12 throughout the rest of the week. Thanks for joining us.